All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're jumping headfirst into the wild world of new cryptocurrencies, and we're going to do it through a really interesting case study, a token called RZcoin. I mean, this is the big question, right? A new token pops up, makes all these incredible promises. How do you know what's real? Are you looking at the next big thing, or is it just smoke and mirrors? It's a world of huge promises, and, let's be honest, huge risks. So you've got these two totally opposite messages. On one hand, you hear stuff like, it's a portal to a new reality for businesses. I mean, wow. But then you see the fine print, right? The classic, this is for educational purposes only. Do your own research. It's a total clash. So let's use RZcoin to really dig into both sides of this story. Okay, so let's start with the pitch. What's the story they're telling us? We're going to look at the shiny, optimistic case for RZcoin, straight from its supporters. So, the big idea at the heart of RZcoin is something called asset tokenization. And what does that even mean? Well, think of it like this. It's about taking a real-world thing, like a piece of art or a stake in a company, and creating a digital version of it, a token that lives on the blockchain. They're basically saying this is the bridge between the old economy and the new digital world.
And when you ask, what is RZcoin, its backers point to these three things. They're not just saying it's a coin. No. They're pitching a whole ecosystem. You've got their own RZ blockchain for security, the native token that's like the gas in the engine, and then a utility token you can actually use for things like voting and paying for stuff on the platform. See? They're trying to frame it as the whole packet.
Okay, so how does it actually work? Well, the process they lay out looks pretty familiar if you've been around crypto at all. Step 1, you send some coin. Step 2, the network checks it out. Step 3, it's locked in forever. But here's the key part of their pitch. It all happens on their network, the RZ blockchain. That's their way of saying, hey, it's not just secure, it's our secure and efficient system.
Now this is where things get really interesting. Look at what they're promising. Fast transactions and low fees? Okay, that's table stakes for any new project trying to compete. But then you see smart contracts for automation. And this is the big one, DAO governance. That means the community, the people who actually hold the tokens, get to vote on where the project goes. That's a huge claim about being truly decentralized.
And to back all this up, they've got a roadmap. And you got to admit, it looks pretty ambitious. The game plan seems to be launch on a big, known chain like Binance to get things rolling. Then get listed on exchanges so people can actually trade it. Then get the official stamp of approval on sites like CoinMarketCap. And then, this is the end goal, launch their own blockchain and coin. It's a multi-year plan that shows they're thinking big.
Okay, so that's the dream, right? It's a really compelling story, but how much of it can you actually prove? It's time for a reality check. We're going to flip the script completely and look at this from a skeptic's point of view.
So forget the glossy white paper and the fancy roadmap for a second. What can you actually do right now to check out a new token? Well, I found this great breakdown from a creator on the Crypto Finance channel who lays out a super simple 4-step checklist that honestly anyone can follow.
And this is a fantastic toolkit, not just for RZcoin, but for any new project. First, check the public comments. What are real people saying? Is it all hype, or are there real concerns? Second, use a tool like DexTool. This lets you peek under the hood at the technicals. Third, are they on major exchanges? The big names. If they're only on some obscure site, that's a flag. And finally, look at who holds the tokens. Is it concentrated in just a few wallets? That could be risky.
So what happened when that creator ran RZcoin through this exact checklist? Well, this was their take. And look, it's just one person's opinion, not gospel, but it really paints a picture of uncertainty. They landed at about 65% legit, but that leaves a whopping 35% chance of it being a scam. That's not exactly a ringing endorsement.
All right, so where does that leave us? We've got two completely different stories here. We have the grand vision of a revolutionary future, and we have a very practical, skeptical toolkit that raises some serious questions. So what do you do with that?
And this really brings it all into focus. The vision is all about the big promises. Asset tokenization, DAO governance, a shiny roadmap. The verification, though, is about the stuff you can check right now. Public comments, DEX tools, who actually holds the coins. It's the promise versus the proof. And right now, for a project like this, they don't always line up.
This quote from that creator really says it all, doesn't it? Do your own research. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter how amazing the pitch sounds or how skeptical someone else is. The final call, that responsibility, is all on you.
And that's really what I want to leave you with. For any new project you come across, not just RZcoin, not just in crypto, but anything, what's the more important question to ask first? What's the promise or what's the proof? Something to think about. Thanks for joining me on this explainer.